When you last visited the supermarket, you likely walked past a box you've seen many times before. The Ritz Cracker has been a staple on American store shelves for 90 years, yet today, the snack is often overlooked in favor of craft-made, local, and gluten-free foods. But the Ritz Cracker is worth a second look. There's more to this simple snack than you might think. If you observe the Ritz Cracker closely, you'll notice its round shape with a scalloped edge and 7 tiny, evenly distributed holes. The golden brown color achieved during baking resembles a light toast. The taste is buttery with a hint of salt, and its thin, flaky layers crumble pleasantly on your tongue. Despite its buttery flavor, the Ritz Cracker is actually vegan, featuring a simple ingredient list of flour, vegetable oil, sugar, salt, and leavening. Its design and flavor are so classic that it's now taken for granted as the almost perfect ideal of a cracker. But to truly understand the Ritz, you have to look deeper than what you can see or taste. Where did this simple yet classic cracker come from? It was a product of the Great Depression. Life was tough during the Great Depression. The economic boom of the Roaring '20s came to a crashing end in October 1929. The stock market collapsed, unemployment skyrocketed, and many people lost their homes. It was a time when people were struggling to find anything edible. Releasing a new snack product during this era should have been a failure, but Nabisco wasn't just selling a snack, they were selling hope. Nabisco executive Sidney Stern named the cracker Ritz to signify luxury. Ritz and ritzy had become synonymous with fancy, thanks to the success of luxury hotelier Cesar Ritz and his Ritz-Carlton hotels. Despite skepticism from his colleagues, Stern believed that naming the cracker Ritz would remind people of better days, give them a taste of the high life, and provide a sense that the world would get back on track. The Ritz Cracker was sold for only 19 cents a box, making it an affordable luxury for the masses. Before capitalism, the very idea of affordable luxury would have been unthinkable. Under feudalism, luxury was reserved for the wealthy. As economist Ludwig von Mises explained, before capitalism, a person's social status was fixed from birth and never changed. The primitive industries of the time existed almost exclusively for the wealthy. However, as the rural population expanded, there was a surplus of people on the land who had no place to go. Out of this serious social situation emerged the beginnings of modern capitalism. Innovators started producing cheaper products for everyone's needs, not just the upper classes. This was the origin of capitalism as it operates today, characterized by mass production to satisfy the needs of the masses. Indeed, the Ritz Cracker was a luxury for the masses, purchased by both impoverished Americans and upscale hotel patrons. Mass production of the Ritz Cracker began in Nabisco's North Philadelphia bakery, and it was introduced to test markets in Philadelphia and Baltimore in 1934. By 1935, it was distributed nationally. Within its first year, Nabisco sold 5 million crackers, and within 3 years, they were baking 29 million daily, making it the best-selling cracker in the world. Making luxury available to the masses is not the only world-changing effect of capitalism revealed in the story of the Ritz Cracker. The story also highlights how capitalism enabled social mobility. As Mises further explained, in the Middle Ages, social status was fixed, but under modern capitalism there is continuous mobility. Poor people can become rich, and the descendants of those rich people can lose their wealth and become poor. Everyone is free to change their status. Consider the story of the Ritz Cracker's namesake, Cesar Ritz. Born in 1850 in a tiny Swiss village, he was the youngest of 13 children born to poor peasant parents. At age 12, his parents sent him to a Jesuit-run boarding school, but he showed little interest in his classes. At age 15, his parents pulled him out of school and sent him to apprentice as a sommelier at a hotel. He was quickly fired, with the patron of the hotel telling him he didn't have what it takes for the hotel business. Nonetheless, Cesar persevered and eventually became the #1 hotel expert in the world, turning around struggling hotels and attracting world leaders as guests. Another rags-to-riches story in the making of the Ritz Cracker is that of Nabisco's marketing executive, Sidney Stern. The child of Hungarian-Jewish immigrants, Stern was raised in a tenement building in Lower Manhattan. Despite the harsh conditions, he and his siblings found professional success. Stern's creativity and determination led him to name and design the logo for the Ritz Cracker, contributing to its cultural significance. Nabisco's founder, Adolphus W. Green, also rose from humble beginnings. The youngest of 11 children, A.W.'s father, died when he was a child, forcing his mother to take in boarders to make ends meet. Despite these challenges, A.W. graduated from Harvard and went on to become a successful lawyer. His expertise in the cracker industry led to the founding of Nabisco, which revolutionized the cracker industry through economies of scale. The economies of scale created by Nabisco's mergers benefited consumers greatly. A.W. kept prices low and developed innovative packaging to keep crackers fresh. Under his leadership, Nabisco developed the wax paper sleeves that Ritz and other crackers are sold in today, eliminating the unsanitary cracker barrels of the past. Despite public panic over trusts, few were actually very successful. Nabisco was an exception, and within 2 years of its merger, Americans were buying 10 million packages of crackers per month. This profit enabled A.W. to further build his company by attracting the best possible staff and offering benefits and stock options. But not all the bakeries that merged into Nabisco were happy with A.W.'s tight control, leading some bakers to leave and find independent success. Nabisco's biggest competitor for many years was the Loose Wiles Biscuit Company, founded by 2 brothers who left Nabisco. The Ritz Cracker itself was developed to compete with Loose Wiles' successful Hi-Ho Cracker. A.W. died in 1917 before the Ritz Cracker was introduced, but in his absence, capitalism continued to push the company forward. Nabisco eventually adopted new baking techniques and expanded internationally, becoming a billion-dollar corporation by 1972. On an international playing field, the economies of scale achieved by bakeries merging into Nabisco could be improved even further. Nabisco merged with Standard Brands and was later purchased by other companies. However, bigger isn't always better, and capitalism doesn't work like the board game Monopoly suggests. Economies of scale also exist, where the costs of a firm's large size outweigh the advantages. This led to Nabisco and Kraft Foods being spun off into an independent company in 2006 and later into 2 smaller enterprises in 2012. While all this was happening, the Ritz Cracker itself adapted to changing times. Nabisco developed a wide variety of Ritz products to suit shifting consumer preferences, including different flavors and sizes. Despite its progress, the Ritz Cracker has lost its once luxurious image. But the original Ritz Cracker still tastes the same as it did when it was first released. What changed was everything around it: competing products, increased dietary knowledge, and advancements in sanitation. Capitalism continues to drive businesses to better provide for contemporary desires. Mondelez International, which now owns Nabisco, continues to innovate with products like gluten-free cookies from Tate's Bake Shop. It's easy to take the Ritz Cracker for granted, but instead of looking down at our past, we ought to regard it with gratitude. Finding joy in the little things, as Depression-era consumers did with the Ritz Cracker, is a hallmark of wisdom. Creating value for others, even through something as simple as a cracker, can take us from privation to prosperity. So whatever snack you choose today, recognize the Ritz Cracker as the marvel of capitalism it truly is.